For decades, the conversation around climate change has always been about, well, how do we stop it? But now, that conversation is totally shifting. It's less about stopping it and more about outthinking it. We're in a race, and a new kind of planetary scale defense system is coming online. And right at the heart of it, you guessed it, AI. So today, we're going to dive into how artificial intelligence is stepping up to be our frontline defense, basically securing our planet's future, one algorithm at a time.
So that really brings us to the biggest question of all, right? Can AI actually save the planet? And look, the answer isn't simple. It's complicated. There's this huge, immense promise, but there are also some really serious challenges we have to face. So let's get into it.
All right, first up, let's talk about one of the most immediate, tangible impacts we're seeing. And that's how AI is completely changing the game when it comes to forecasting disasters. And even more importantly, how it's helping us get ahead of them. And I mean, this is a massive leap forward. Think about it. Traditional weather models, the ones we've relied on for years, they take hours to run on these giant supercomputers. AI models, they can spit out a more precise forecast in just a few minutes. But honestly, it's not just about being faster. This is a fundamental ground-up shift in how we predict what the planet's going to do next. Okay, so take a look at this number, 97.2%. This is a total game changer. It comes from a new weather model from Google DeepMind called GenCast. And what it means is that it's nearly 100% more accurate at predicting extreme weather risks, a full 15 days out. That kind of foresight, it's something we've just never had before. So we're not just talking about knowing if you need an umbrella tomorrow. No. This is about forecasting what they call black swan events. Those super rare but incredibly high-impact disasters, and we can see them coming with enough lead time to actually do something. It completely flips the script from just reacting to a disaster to actively getting ahead of it and preventing the worst damage. But AI isn't just a fortune teller, right? It's not just predicting things. It's also becoming an active manager of some of our most critical systems, starting with our power grids. Now, to really get how AI is managing our energy, you need to understand this concept called agentic AI. Just think of it like an autonomous project manager. You give it a big, broad goal, something like, hey, keep the city's power grid stable, and it just figures it out. It breaks that big goal down into smaller tasks and adapts on the fly to whatever's changing. So what does this look like in the real world? Well, these AI agents are already making our cities way more efficient. They're optimizing how much energy buildings use, they're coordinating traffic to cut down on emissions, and they're even spotting equipment failures before they cause a blackout. But here's the really crucial part. It's solving that age-old puzzle of how you weave renewables, like solar and wind, into the grid and keep the power supply stable. That's a huge deal. Okay, so for all this incredible potential to help the planet, AI has a bit of a dirty secret, and that's its own massive carbon footprint. It's this hidden cost of all that number crunching, and it's a really big problem that we absolutely have to talk about. And this quote, wow, it really puts the scale of this whole thing into perspective, doesn't it? The amount of electricity it takes to train these gigantic AI models is so intense, so high, that huge tech companies are literally buying up entire power companies just to keep their data centers humming. I mean, that is an absolutely incredible demand on our energy infrastructure. And look, this isn't just a problem for big corporations to worry about. It has officially become a matter of national policy. The White House is now telling U.S. agencies they have to start tracking and considering the carbon emissions from their own AI systems. That's how you know this has gotten really, really serious. So it's really important to understand that not all AI is built the same way. On one side, you've got these massive, energy-guzzling foundational models. But on the other, there's this growing movement towards what people are calling right-sized AI. These are smaller, much more efficient models designed for specific tasks, and they get the job done with just a tiny fraction of the environmental cost. And this brings us right to the core challenge, the central dilemma of all of this. How do we harness all of that incredible, world-changing potential of AI for climate action without its own carbon footprint making the whole problem even worse? It's a real balancing act. Look, the path forward isn't about choosing between AI's promise and its peril. We can't just hit the brakes on AI development. The potential benefits are just too huge. The real goal here is to solve for both. It's about innovating responsibly and building a whole new generation of AI that is sustainable by design. So what does that path forward actually look like? Well, it seems to be breaking down into a three-step approach. First, we need policies that mandate we consider the environmental impact right alongside things like security and privacy. Second, we need to prioritize algorithmic efficiency. That means focusing on building those leaner, right-sized models. And third, we need serious innovation in low-power computing, brand new hardware and methods that just sip energy instead of guzzling it.
You know, there's a quote that really nails it. It says AI is giving us the greatest survival kit in human history. The machine can show us the path, but we still have to walk it. And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? AI is this incredibly powerful tool, maybe the most powerful we've ever created. But what it ultimately does, for good or for bad, that comes down entirely to the choices we make.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What will AI's greatest legacy be? The problems it helps us solve, or the new ones it ends up creating? The future of our planet is, without a doubt, being written in code. But the heart of that movement, the responsibility for what that code does, that's still on us. It's still human.